welcome to the Man of Recaps. This is Daredevil Season 3. If you remember the end of The Defenders, Matt was making out with Elektra, ready to die together as the cave collapsed on him. He did miraculously survive, though there's no sign of Elektra, and he's nursed back to health at his favorite place, the Catholic Church. In fact, it's the orphanage where he grew up, and he's being taken care of by Sister Maggie, the same nun who raised him as a kid after his dad's death. Eventually, Matt overhears her secret. She wasn't just the orphanage mom, she was literally Matt's biological mother, so he has to deal with that. For now, though, Matt's not going home. He's living here in the basement of the church. He's in kind of a bad headspace. He wants to give up on his real life as Matt Murdock and just be Daredevil full-time.
I'd rather die as the devil and live as Matt Murdock.
Of course, this is very inconsiderate to his best friends Foggy and Karen, who have been paying his rent just in case he comes back. But now, in prison, it's Daredevil's archenemy, Wilson Fisk. When he was arrested at the end of Season 1, he sent his girlfriend Vanessa out of the country. The feds want to charge her as an accessory so she can't come back to the country, so Fisk sits down with FBI agent Ray Nadeem. He's ready to make a deal. He gives them info on the Albanian gang, gets them all arrested, and it's a big win for the FBI. But as we all know, in prison, snitches get stitches and Fisk gets shanked. For his own protection, the FBI moves him to house arrest in what is a really nice penthouse apartment, but he's still a prisoner. Pretty soon, though, because of his continued cooperation, he's allowed certain creature comforts, and yeah, he's wearing his fancy white suits again. He is still a prisoner, though. The FBI are watching his every move, except in his closet where he has a secret passage that leads down to a supervillain man cave. Yeah, he's been one step ahead of him this whole time. Fisk being out of prison really upsets Foggy Nelson, and the current DA's not doing anything about it, so Foggy runs for DA himself. And Karen Page, now a big-time reporter, makes it her top priority to get Fisk put away too. Matt, too, puts on his Season 1 black outfit, tries to sneak into Fisk's apartment, but being guarded by the FBI, it's pretty difficult. Instead, he goes to the prison to try to talk to the Albanians, but something's not right here. He gets a call from Fisk. Yes, Fisk hates lawyer Matt Murdock for getting him arrested in Season 1, and he's hired everyone in the prison to try to kill him. But he didn't know that Matt Murdock is secretly his other arch nemesis, Daredevil, who really shines in awesome one-take hallway fights. Yeah! Eventually, Matt meets up with the Albanians, who reveal a big secret. They didn't try to shank Fisk. Fisk had himself shanked to trick the FBI into giving him house arrest. The one-take hallway fight is still going. It's turned into an epic prison riot, but finally Matt makes it back to his cab. But the cab driver was also in on it and drives him into the river. Luckily, Matt still survives. Now, when Fisk was first being moved out of prison, the Albanians did attack his convoy, but this one FBI agent was an incredible shot. He took down all these guys, some with throwing knives. He is Special Agent Ben Poindexter, who goes by Dex. After seeing his skills, Fisk takes a personal interest in Dex. He seems like a nice normal guy, if a little OCD, but Fisk checks his records, and since he was a kid, he's had superhuman throwing skills and has been a psychopath who enjoyed killing. His therapist helped him like, yo, Dex, you need to trust someone else as your moral compass, and he thought he had that in the army, now the FBI. But Wilson Fisk has a magnetic, charismatic presence. He starts manipulating him. Dex has a crush on this girl, Julie, that he's stalking. Fisk manipulates it, so they meet in person, and long story short, things are going well until he has her killed. From her phone, he sends a text, "I never want to see you again," and blocks him. This sends Dex off the deep end and right into Fisk's arms. Meanwhile, Matt finally lets his friends know that he's alive. He needs their help to track down the guy that shanked Fisk. They're gonna have him confess, write a big article about it, and expose Fisk, but the lights go out. Fisk had Dex go on a murder rampage at the Bulletin while wearing the Daredevil costume to discredit him. And so it's a double Daredevil fight. Matt in his old school black outfit, he's the better boxer, but Dex has incredible throwing skills. He can turn anything in this office into a deadly weapon. They never call him Bullseye this season, but he's Bullseye. In the end, Dex defeats Matt and kills the informant. Now they have no proof against Fisk. So Matt pays a visit to Agent Ray Nadeem, like, hey, I'm the real Daredevil, I'm a good guy, and Fisk is playing you. Nadeem suspects fake Daredevil might be Dex, and when Dex shoots at him, that pretty much confirms it. He gives the bad news to his boss that Dex is flipped and Fisk has been playing the FBI this whole time. But she's like, yeah, I know. Fisk controls most of us already through bribes, blackmail, or threats. Congrats, Ray, now he's got you too. If you don't play ball, Fisk will kill your family. Yes, instead of recruiting a gang, Fisk has turned the FBI into his personal hit squad. He has them round up all the other crime bosses in the city like, what's up guys, you work for me now. Around this time, Karen Page goes to see Fisk in person. She hopes she can get a rise out of him and maybe he'll attack her on camera. She reveals her secret, that it was her personally who killed his best friend Wesley. That almost does it, but the FBI gets her out of there first. So Fisk sends his evil Daredevil assassin after her. He's gonna kill her, but oh, the priest saves her, no! Then Matt busts in and it's double Daredevil fight round 2, this time in a church. And it's still awesome and hilarious that Dex turns any mundane object into a deadly weapon. In the end, he beats Matt again, but this time it's Karen with the cross, oh, off the balcony! He comes back in his FBI costume to arrest her, but Foggy got the NYPD here, and Nadeem's like, yo, we work for Fisk, you gotta take her. So they get her to safety, but Dex knows Nadeem betrayed him, and he gets home just in time to save his family. Matt's there to help, they take out the goons, but he's like, yo, you don't need Daredevil right now, you need a lawyer. So now Nadeem's gonna testify against Fisk. First they gotta get him to the courthouse, which is an adventure in itself. But they make it there, he goes on record, and the day is saved. Except Fisk got to the entire jury already, so this was all pointless. So Nadeem just goes back home, hoping that if they kill him, at least his family will be safe. Now, with the full power of the federal government on his side, Fisk legally overturns his prior convictions. He doesn't have to pretend to be a prisoner anymore. And he's finally able to get what he really wanted, his girlfriend Vanessa back. But she doesn't like that he's trying to shelter her from his work. She's like, yo, it's super obvious you're a crime boss. I'm okay with it. I love you. I want to be a part of it. So he takes her down to his supervillain man cave, and she's like, oh, Agent Nadeem's a problem. You should have him killed. And that's exactly what he does. But they didn't find his phone with the tearful farewell to his family. which also included his dying testament giving up all the info on Fisk, and apparently that's admissible in court. Meanwhile, Matt's collecting evidence his own way, and he reveals the big secret to Dex that Fisk killed Julie. When Dex finds out that's true, as you can imagine, it sends him even further off the deep end. And so Fisk and Vanessa's wedding night is ruined by Nadim's video going viral, and it's crashed by a deranged evil daredevil here to throw things at him. While he's distracting security, Matt sneaks up to Fisk's room ready for their final showdown. But pretty soon Dex arrives too, and he's gonna kill Vanessa, so Matt has to stop him. And it turns into an epic three-way fight. Fisk throwing people around, Bullseye throwing household objects. Finally, Fisk grabs Dex and, oh, breaks his back. He's down for the count. And now it's just him and Matt, who is madder than ever, really letting the devil out. This whole time he was planning to kill Fisk. That's the only way to put him down for good. But oh, the Catholic guilt. Matt just can't bring himself to do it. Instead, he settles for a little trash talk.
I beat you!
Actually, though, he has an ace up his sleeve. He has evidence that Vanessa is the one who ordered the hit on Nadim. They make a deal: as long as Fisk stays in prison, he won't reveal that, Vanessa will be free. And so Wilson Fisk, the Kingpin, headed back to jail, the city protected by the devil of Hell's Kitchen. He should probably get his costume back at some point. For his part, Ben Poindexter is paralyzed, but they tease he gets a super surgery, so you know Bullseye could be back. But for now, Matt's decided he likes his friends. He's going to officially come back to life. They're going to restart their old law firm, Nelson and Murdoch, and Paige this time, even though she's not a lawyer. And that's where Daredevil Season 3 comes to an end. If you like this recap, hit that subscribe button for more of the best recaps of TV and movies. And if you love this recap, check out the join button and support the channel as a member.